Candlepin bowling is a New England tradition and a sport enjoyed by both girls and boys of all ages. Across 6 annual tournaments, we bring together the game's finest young talent in a celebration of bright futures, big scores, and bigger smiles. We are proud to introduce the new generation of bowling with Season 10 of Candlepin for Kids. To see old episodes and for more information, go to www.cp4k.com.
From Lena Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, Candlepin for Kids Pro Series Doubles Tournament alongside Dan Gauthier. I'm Rob Taylor. Semifinal showdown, we got a good one for him.
Yeah, we do, Rob, and the phrase of the day is going to be the more things change, the more they stay the same. The change involved in this year's matches is we don't have any girls among our Candlepin for Kids contestants. Last year the girls dominated, as you know. What stays the same is in this match we do have half of last year's championship team in Jeff Surratt. So we're expecting, some big scores, and hopefully all of our contestants won't let us down, Rob.
Let's meet him and the rest of the bowlers.
Our top remaining seed in the semifinals features our youngest remaining bowler, with this 14-year-old who tossed a 338 to land him a Pro Series and World Champion, as well as this tourney's reigning champ. It's Ryan Donnell and Jeff Surratt. Challenging them, a true underdog story featuring a 16-year-old who finished 10th in qualifying and his wildcard partner, a Rhode Island native, Dugpin competitor, and contributor to the show who snuck in at 23rd. It's Cameron Green and John Irby-Cafalis.
Here we go on Candlepin for Kids. It's Ryan Donnell on lane 34. Next to him is Cameron Green. Ryan's about to throw our first ball of the match. And it's a good one on the head pin, 7-pin drop. Cameron Green a little off. He'll try to get it back. Some of our younger bowlers in the tournament today. Ryan only 14. He's the youngest in our semifinals.
I remember when Ryan was 12 and he was no shorter than he is today, Rob.
Cameron's back on it there.
It's a good ball by Cam. I'm looking at Cam's stat sheet, Rob, and I see that his current league average is a 104, and I'm pretty sure he miscomputed his high triple because it would pretty much be a physical impossibility to have a 310 high triple with an average of 104.
That's true. That's very true. So
we were talking with Cam earlier.
Qualified with a 310 today, so...
Yeah, he just put down his qualifying score, I think.
Now, Ryan Donnell and Jeff Surratt are our 2 seed. On the other side, Cam Green and Irby-Cafalis are wild cards. Cam Green finished 11th in the event. If you finished between 9th and 24th, you would draw a pro partner. So Cam finished 11th. Irby finished in a tie for 23rd, and yet here they are in our semifinals. Kind of a Cinderella story.
And we had a Cinderella story last year, too, if you remember. DJ Trask and...
She was with Colleen Dumas. They came out of nowhere.
I think what that illustrates, Rob, is that by seeding the top kids with the top adults, you're almost guaranteeing that 1 or 2 of the final teams are going to be a good quality team. But those wild card teams, both years, have slipped in there. So anybody has a chance. You draw. I mean, Craig Holbrook was almost in the pool of bowlers to bowl to draw for the random draws. So Dave Godwin was. I mean, you could draw anybody. You could draw Jeff Surratt next year.
And in those 1-string matches, anything can happen. And in a 3-string qualifying, anything can happen. And that's what gives you the chance to see some of the lower bowlers get good shots here.
I like to think that this is our one event that we have every year that actually favors the older kids, obviously, because we don't do age groups or kids. But, I mean, look how far little Nate Fontaine made it today at age 10 or 11. He's 10, I think, still. And he made it almost all the way to the top 8 rounds, so it was fun to watch.
And, of course, Ryan Donnell here at 14, going up against several older counterparts. Ryan's in Division 2, typically on our show on Candlepin for Kids, but he's going against the big boys today. Both of our bowlers trying to home in here. Cameron was with us a few years back, he was saying. He said back before Season 7, I believe.
Yeah, Jonathan Boudreau recognized him. You know why I didn't recognize Cameron right away? He's wearing Fun Time Lane shirt now, which is his new home house. He was a canal bowler. Now it's ringing a bell for me. Like in Joni's house.
So both of our bowlers looking to get heated up here. Tough couple of breaks. It's nerve-wracking under those lights. It's tough to get that first one under the way.
It can be real nerve-wracking, especially in a house like this one where you've got the built-in TV lights, so it's a little extra bright for them. It actually gets warm up there, Rob, when you're bowling under the lights. So, and they're trying to follow up, a tough act to follow up. They just watch the other team go bananas up there.
Well, sometimes it's a good break that lets you get that first one out of the way. Ryan Donnell looking at a spare leave here.
And if you do have a rough one, it's nice to look over to the left and see you're still within a pin. So turn around anytime. Both bowlers looking at makeable spare leaves.
Ryan a little off to the right. Cameron just off too, both staring the head pin in the face.
Both bowlers off on what I would call the conservative side, where they just wanted to say, they didn't want to take a chance at throwing an air ball, so they erred on the side of making sure they got 9s.
We've got down here that Cameron is a swimmer for his school swim team. Gave me his 50-yard freestyle time of 26.22 seconds. I don't know if that's good or not, but
it sounds fast.
It sounds
I don't think I could go that fast. And I'm pretty buoyant. Look at all this fat's pretty buoyant, right?
So now our fans might notice the orange pin on the 2-pin on lane 34. You want to explain what that's all about?
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Something new we're doing as a 10th anniversary promotion. We've put in these orange and blue pins, the official colors of Candlepin for kids. If they happen to come up on the 10-pin and our youth bowlers get a strike, yes, sorry, thank you, Rob, on the head pin, our youth bowlers throw a strike in that box, they're going to win a raffle ticket for our bowling ball raffles. We have 2 sets donated by Paramount Industries, which we give away at the end of the year.
And a nice shot by Cameron Green there going into the half.
And so they'll get a raffle ticket, which often is good enough to win it, but sometimes we have more than, and they can still get the raffle tickets the normal way with a double strike. They'll also win a pin. They can have their pick of a glow-in-the-dark pin, a regular pin, or an orange pin, and they can have the pin signed by one of us or Woody, our mascot, if they want. Now, if it comes up in the 10th box, they're going to win the bowling balls outright if they get a strike. They don't have to just get in the raffle. So that's part of the 10th anniversary 10th box promotion.
And so we're sitting on a tight one here, 1 pin difference in favor of Donnell. However, Cameron Green with a ball. That's Jeff Surratt releasing his first ball on 34. It's a good one on the head pin, but a tough leave.
It is tough. If there's any positive about it, it's that the wood on the left is not just a double wood, it's a triple wood. Usually you say if there's a double wood, something can snap across and carry the 10 pin.
His opponent, Irby Kafalis, maybe with a better leave. We'll see how Surratt does. Not able to carry the 10. And now it's Irby's chance. And he's on it. Will the 7 go? Yes. It will. So quick first mark out of the gates for Kafalis, stringing 1 in a row with his partner there.
Irby's got a tough match ahead of him, having to bowl against Jeff Surratt. But what's nice about Irby is he's a member of the Candlepin for Kids staff in a way, right, Rob?
That he is. He films numerous Pro Series events, big tournaments in the game of Candlepin. We air them on our website every single Tuesday with our Herb Vision segment.
It's www.cp4k.com. He's a big supporter of our show, as is, and it's fair to mention, Craig Holbrook as well, a big supporter of the show. He took his entire prize money from the other semifinal match and donated it back to the show. Just want to big kudos for that, Craig. You didn't have to do it.
Surratt there with a big spare answering Irby. We'll see what Irby does with this one. This has a chance with that wood.
Maybe on the right side.
That looked like the place to put it. Will it fall? He's got it.
And there's no 24-second clock in this game, Rob, and therefore both of those spares count.
If that was the orange pin as the 10 pin, that one might have stood up.
That's true. Brand new pins tend to be a little harder to knock down until they start getting those little chips and wear patterns on the bottom.
So our bowler's starting to get heated up here. We'll see what Surratt's able to fill it with. He's got a little bit to chip away into. Surratt just off the head pin. He'll take a nice 7, though.
As Dave Godwin once told me, anytime the head pin is still standing after your first ball, you have a spare leave.
It's the same over on lane 33, though. Irby's got a lot to get down. We'll see how Jeff does here.
Irby with his trademark towel sticking out of his pocket.
Irby also a big duck pin bowler, if I remember correctly.
I believe he's from Rhode Island, and I think they have no candlepin in Rhode Island, but they do have duck pins. So Irby's been right on with his second balls, and he was like that throughout the tournament. I glanced over a few times and saw some of his other matches. Kind of sneaky good this whole time getting here.
So the difference right now is 1 pin. And it will stay that way. So 1 pin the difference. Of course, Cameron Green will have the chance to add to that with his mark.
We moved our scoreboard from one side of the lanes to the other between semifinal matches, and I keep looking up and surprised when it's not where I expected it to be.
That was a heck of a ball by Surratt, staring the 5 pin in the face now.
He's got a little helpful wood.
Yeah, I don't know about helpful. Irby with the better ball with the hammer. Surratt just has to avoid the cap here.
Irby
still might even
sometimes
take
with
it.
a trademark pose at the end. He holds that low pose.
Surratt's all over his shot.
The crowd cheering and going crazy to our left.
1 pin the difference. Both bowlers still on marks.
And Jeff's still fairly young himself. I'm not sure how old he's in his 20s. Right?
29.
29. He's
That's
that old
right.
already, huh?
Surratt very full, but he gets a nice break there.
That he does. Anytime your pins are right next to each other, it's better than the split.
Irby looking to double up.
And did the orange pin cost him? We'll never know, Rob, but it's the last one up.
We'll see if he can get it now.
The wood doesn't look too bad if he wants to slip by to the right of it.
Surratt's on his mark. And Irby a little off. So going into the break, got ourselves a tight one. One mark on each side. Make sure you catch us after the break. Second half here on Candlepin for Kids. It's a 1-pin difference in favor of Ryan Donnell and Jeff Surratt. Both teams with the ball. Cameron Green's got one right here.
Surratt playing to the crowd again during the commercial break. He had his hand up for a high five. His partner was up on the lane, oblivious to him. He just left it there for a solid minute until his partner finally high-fived him.
So both of our guys
Single pin's gone.
getting tough first balls. They'll home back in here. Donnell with a lot to shoot at. He's on it though.
That's the ball he's been wanting to throw. It's been elusive, but maybe he's found it now.
That's a good one right in the pocket. Tough one by Cam, gets away. That first box coming out of the half is always a tricky one, especially when you've got the whole time to think about your fill.
And you've just been told that it's a 1-pin match.
It's true.
Maybe it's better off not telling them.
Donnell with a nice 10. Donnell from Woburn Boulodrome, one of several supporters from Woburn Boulodrome. And he's got his favorite pro bowler listed as Jeff Surratt. Wonder if being taken to the finals with him had something to do with that.
I wonder who Jeff Surratt is listed
Or if Jeff forced him to. Jeff put up. Curious. Dan Gauthier listed as Jeff Surratt.
Oh, I think that one.
That one
I think
did
that
get
one
away.
we're gonna have to call a lob on that one.
We are going to deduct one for that
pin
lob.
ball. We do go by all the rules of Candlepin bowling here, so.
That ball had a little too much loft going down the lane. That one a lot better.
9.
And he was all over it for the 9. Surratt threatening to throw punches if such a call was made on him. Luckily for us, the replacement refs are not here, unlike in the NFL.
Rob, punches already have been thrown today, I heard. I heard one of the contestants took a swing at our mascot.
Woody the Pin did take a beating today, but lucky for us, he's a resilient little pin, just like all of them.
Oh, so we have our first orange pin on the head pin, so strike here. We'll win him a bowling ball raffle ticket and a pin of his choice.
He's a little off. Get some good action off the head pin.
Hoping for some backdoor action. I
For that
mean, we'll
3.
take strike any way it counts. Part of our 10th anniversary promotion. We have been a show for 10 years now, founded by Steve Reno and still going strong.
That's right. Back in 2002, I believe it was, on Southbridge Public Access Channel. We've come a long way since then.
We used to film a lot of shows at American Lanes. I'm sure the kids like the fact that we're moving from house to house now. Probably a little more generous than American Lanes.
Nice shot by Ryan Donnell. That's a big one.
Pretty shot, Rob. Last 2 pins fell backwards, completing the spare.
And big mark there by Donnell. In a tight match here, I believe the difference is 3 pins.
Yeah, 2 big balls though, and that's those are big. They could push it up as high as 20 or so if they with big fills, which they'll be hoping for.
Cameron would love to get a mark here to try to counteract that.
Just off the head pin to the right, just barely.
Donnell looking for a big fill. He's on the head pin. That is a big fill. Will that 10 fall into the 9? Well, it will fall.
Now, if you,
Not much for a spare leave, though.
but if you're Cameron, you look at that and it's got to be, encouraging that it's not a spare leave. Then you go out and make yours and you tighten the match right back.
Gives him the chance to come back. Great shot by Cameron Green. Nice bid by Donnell.
Trying to get the ball off the red line because the pin was right behind the red line, so your ball has a better chance of coming back on the lane. And it almost did. Fell right behind the 7 pin.
Every pin important. Donnell wraps it up. So that should bring it to 11 minus this ball, if my math is correct.
And Cam's been worrying about not just the match, I'm sure, but his mechanics, since already being called on a lob once. So he's got a lot going on in his head. It'll be interesting to see if he can sort it all out here and put himself down with a good fill. Decent fill.
Very nice fill.
7 or better is always good, and it's a makeable shot. We may need our little runner. We have an official runner today.
This is John McDonald who's going to take a look at that one. Jonathan McDonald, another member of the Pro Series, one of the younger guns in the game.
And with a name like McDonald, I'm wondering what music we can use for him, Rob, running down. We'll let you be creative on that one.
So Jonathan says it's good. And now we'll see if Cameron can reel this one in.
Well, it doesn't look good from here, but evidently it is. A little lighting down there plays tricks on it.
Cameron with a pretty shot.
That
2
is
in a
a
row
pretty
for
shot.
Green, and that's a big one.
A shot like that can turn around your impression of your entire day right there.
So now looking to answer.
You know,
That might come back. And the 6 might tip.
if you asked Cameron 2 boxes ago how his string was, I'm sure he'd have a whole different impression than now that he's made 2 beautiful shots, you know.
Clutch shots.
Clutch shots.
And so Donnell will finish with an 88. And interesting.
98, actually.
9 out right there. 98,
Yeah.
my apologies. Now Cameron's
Tightening the
sitting
match up.
on 93 and a ball.
7 or better for triple digits. 5 or better to beat his opponent.
He's
Decent
right
ball.
on it, all over that head.
Probably the best
big
ball he
8.
threw the whole match, Rob.
Great work by Cameron Green
he-
coming out of that lob in the middle of the match.
And he lets out a big breath, a big sigh of relief. That's the definition of a sigh of relief right there.
So nice finish there by Green. Really tightens this match up. Looks like the difference is 5 pins minus this ball by Surratt.
Yeah, so that's for all
This is a
intents.
tight one.
If it was any other bowler than Surratt, I'd say practically an even game, but he tends to have average fills of larger than 5 most of the time, so probably a small lead from Jeff, but we won't know till he throws his first ball.
Irby right on that head pin. Not much to show for
And
it.
a
although
rebound from that, tough single pin miss that he.
that wood between might help him out.
Yeah,
You
you
make the diamond.
You make the diamond, things usually move left.
Surratt with the 4 fill, so a 1-pin game in favor of Kafalis.
Did I just talk up Jeff's fill, saying he's averaging well over a 5, and so a 1-pin match.
Kafalis on it. Pretty shot by Irby and a lot of body English there. That was a big one.
That was a beautiful shot, Rob. Beautiful shot.
Surratt on it as well. Just can't carry that 5. So it's going to be a 1-pin match if Surratt picks this up.
What our viewers are seeing is exactly how Kafalis and Cameron got where they are. They grind it out. They have grinding out every, it looks like they might be starting to fall out of it, almost 20 pins behind. 3 marks in a row, and right back now they got a little lead and try to stretch into something over double digits, hopefully.
It was the 8th box when Donnell had it up to about 13, but how things have changed. Kafalis with a huge hammer.
Trying to take down the favorite.
Surratt off the head pin, but with a good little break.
David trying to beat Goliath.
That's right. Like we said, wild cards. The 11th kid and the 23rd pro looking to take down the number 2 seeds.
What would a final match be without a wild card in there?
That's right. We
Keep
had
the
one last
tradition
year as
going.
well. Surratt just off.
Yeah, it's jumping the gun a little, but should Kafalis make it to the finals, then we would have both of the adults in the finals actually as members of the CP4K staff.
That's true.
They both did far better than your co-host did, Rob.
Our guys put in a good showing today.
Yeah.
It's the 4-seeded Jonathan Boudreau and Anthony Delmonico who will face the winner of this match. Kafalis looking to put some space in on him right now. Surratt, though, he's had a comeback or two back in the day. We'll see if he's able to kick into it here.
13 and 2 balls. They're looking to push the lead up to exactly where the other team had the lead 5 boxes ago, so anything's possible in the last 3 boxes.
It's all got to start here for Surratt, though. He's on the head pin, but that's not much to show for it.
You could see by the look on his face he expected more out of that, and I don't blame him.
That wood did flatten out, though. That'll give him a chance.
It rolled forward, which is probably the bigger key there, because now I think he can carry them all, but it's going to take a nice shot.
Irby on it. Gave it a nice bid there. That was huge for the fill. That should get it up to 21. Surratt maybe not as low as he wanted on that one to carry the 5.
I think he'd definitely agree. It wasn't where he wanted to play it.
Kafalis not able to grab one. Neither Surratt. So I believe it's a 20-pin match.
Jeff says, looking good. Says, this is where I want to be. Got him right where I want him, Jeff says. 20 down with 2 boxes to go.
My hero.
Irby wants to put a big ball here to make sure that can really put the foot on the throat.
Because with a guy like Jeff, he's got the crowd in his hip pocket. He throws a strike, and everybody goes crazy.
And everybody starts
It can be
thinking it's
that much
possible.
harder to bowl against somebody when the crowd is behind him. Just ask the poor kid who bowled against Nate Fontaine earlier today.
Surratt on that head pin. Gets the 7 to fall.
And you can put all that to rest if you're Irby here by just finding a way to convert this.
This could go. That 6 pin with that wood in the back. If he hits the 6, that's very well may fly over. Especially if he hits it on the right side of the pin.
Oh, the ball went over there and just missed the 7.
That wood at the end there nearly had enough
Yep.
momentum. So Surratt with a chance to
Crucial.
keep things alive. He's on it. Surprise, surprise. Surratt picks up the 10 pin.
There's
so,
hope. It's dim, but there is hope.
So now you got to start talking double strike.
At least one, you know. If you get one and your opponent throws a bad leave, then you can be thinking he doesn't get a 10 box, and then your door's open. So a 9 or a strike. I mean, 9 is minimum here, but a strike, you're feeling okay. And your opponent's going to throw the first ball, so you can kind of see what he throws. He throws a half wister or something.
It's enough to pump you up a little bit.
Oh, it'll definitely pump you up more. That's why it's important for Irby to throw a good one here.
Irby on the head pin. Great
does.
ball by Irby. That was huge.
And that's deflating if you're his opponent now, knowing that you're trying to make up 20 pins and your opponent's got what looks like a
Very makeable.
makeable strike, and you're thinking you got to throw a double.
Surratt on the head pin, but he'll leave the 2, and that should do it. Cathalis and Green moving on to the finals.
I mean, it's not completely over. It's still doable if he needs at least, if he cleans them both up, it's not possible.
Irby says, "Who needs wood?"
the
Makes
door.
it clean.
Shuts the door, bows.
Irby
and he'll
takes
be
a
moving
bow,
on.
as he should. Surratt with the mark to match him, but it's going to be Cameron Green and Irby Cathalis moving on to the finals for a showdown with Anthony Delmonico and Jonathan Boudreau. That's going to be an interesting one. Well, with a quick moment to preview it, Shu, who do you like?
Quick moment to preview it. I'm going to be calling my bookie in Vegas and finding out what the odds were on Cathalis and Cameron and see if I can't get in on some of that action.
There's the 2 that Surratt may have been looking for a little bit earlier. Surratt on the head pin with 8.
It's going to be hard not to favor Boudreau and Delmonico, but, you know, you got to bowl the match, and that's what got Irby and Cameron all this far, so.
You got to watch that one. You got to watch this one after the break as we talk to the bowlers and go in the gutter. Our first stop gave kids of all ages the chance to bowl alongside the best in the game. We asked some what they thought of their professional counterparts with a trip in the gutter.
It's fun. I like it with the pros because they're teaching me a lot more tips that I haven't known before.
At least get 125 every time, almost all of them. Like, don't really miss spares that much and always like stay focused.
They're much better than I thought.
It's pros.
It's definitely fun. They know how to cheer you up. They really do.
People say I'm one of the best at Lakeside, but when I'm here, I feel like I'm only like minimum wage almost. So it feels kind of weird seeing pro bowlers.
It's crazy. Like they're really professional at the way that they bowl, and they take it really serious, and they're really good. So I hope I get to that point someday.
I saw 139, a 120, yeah, there's something.
Welcome back on Candlepin for Kids. Dan Gothier is with our runners-up.
Thank you, Rob. And I'm here with Ryan Donnell. I'll talk to you first. Save Jeff for last. What were you thinking today when you found out you got paired with Jeff Surratt?
I was wicked happy. I wanted him the whole time. I wanted him.
Wanted him the whole time. Were you aware that he was part of last year's championship team?
What was that? What was the question?
Were you aware that he was part of the team that won last year?
Yeah.
Did he hit any big scores on the way here that helped bail you guys out in any matches?
Yeah, like a 156, something like that, right? Yeah, whatever.
No, I heard you had one big match that you helped win too. You want to talk a little bit about the score you hit in that match and any clutch shots you made?
I threw a 127.
Yeah, and that was in the knockouts getting here, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you got farther than you expected to today, or were you expecting to go all the way?
Nah, I didn't think I was gonna go this far.
But it was fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Had a good time?
Yep.
Jeff, feel any different this time around than last year when you bowled with Kylie?
No, that was fun. Pretty good. We tried, almost, but hey.
Unlike last year, right? It wasn't fun.
This was just as fun. It was just
as fun, win or lose, right? And how have you been bowling lately before you? I mean, you obviously bowled great all day today, right?
Today was okay. Bowling you on Friday, you put us in our place, so, that's how it was.
And with that, Rob, now that we've got my free plug, I guess we can turn it back over to you with the champs. Thanks, guys.
I'm here with the champs, Cameron Green and Irby Kafalis. You guys did great out there today. Cinderella story coming from where you've come from. Cameron, we'll start with you. You looked a little nervous in the beginning. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was really nervous. I was just hoping to get the shots.
Now, you had a lob in the second half, but then after that, it seemed like everything changed. What went through your head?
I thought, I had to, not have to make him carry me around. So, I just tried as hard as I could.
Those last 2 marks were gigantic up there for you. Were you nervous?
Yeah. I was shaking.
Well, did well for you. Irby, you came 23 seed, tied 4 in the qualifying round. Now you're going to the finals. How does it feel? What's been going on for you today?
Well, I'll tell you, I picked the right partner. This guy ends every match with 2 marks. It's a big help. It makes my job a lot easier. So it's just terrific, a lot of fun.
Yeah, you knocked the lead down from 13 to nothing, and then Irby, you just ran with it. Your balls were all over the headpin. You're going up against a pretty big gun over there, but it looked like you handled it pretty well.
Well, Jeff will get your attention. I mean, he's pretty much the best there is. So, if you can't focus against him, he really brings out my best.
We saw a little body English after that big hammer. It looked pretty good. Could we get that again, do you think? Could we see the fist pump?
I don't know. I don't want to hurt myself.
We'll save that for the finals, but a great performance by you guys. They're going on to the finals for what should be one heck of a match.
On its surface, Rob, you've got a top-seeded team against the lower-seeded wildcard team, but there's something about this team and the chemistry they've shown all the way getting here. Every time I think they're starting to fall out of a match, somehow they climb back in it. They're gonna have their work cut out for them, but they've surprised me all the way, so let's hope it's going to be an exciting match, and I can't wait to see it.
That'll be the finals. These guys against Anthony Del Monaco and Jonathan Boudreau. You got to watch that match, and thank you for watching this one. You can see all of our episodes on www.cp4k.com. Alongside Dan Gauthier, I'm Rob Taylor from Leda Lanes in New Hampshire. Thanks for watching, everybody. All right, you're good. I hope. You good, Billy?
My mind is blank. I have nothing but go. Okay, we're ready.
I think most of them are good bowlers. I mean, I bowled with a bunch of good people last year. I bowled with Peter Pereira. We got 5th place. And then we got Jeff Surratt throwing 4 strikes in our face. So, I mean, nothing you can do with that. I mean, he's already starting to roll today. So,
Are there any pros that you'd like to get as a partner?
Let's see, Jeff Surratt, Mike McIntosh, and possibly Shu.
Possibly Shu.
Possibly.